Welcome back to another edition of the Oakland Athletics Monthly Recap here within the A's franchise. We have gone through the month of August now, as the A's are sitting at 71-64 here at the end of August, which is second placed in the American League West. That is 10.5 games back, though, from the Los Angeles Angels, who are pretty much just dominating everybody at this point. And then the second wildcard team is us, as the Oakland Athletics are in a playoff spot right now, and they are definitely wanting to keep that as we are in the final month of the season now. But there are a lot of teams who are making pushes, as Tampa Bay is half game out, Houston's 1.5 games out, Cleveland's only 2 games out, Kansas City's 3 games out, and even Texas is only 4.5 games out. And with 1 month left in the season, everybody's going to be making pushes. Anything could happen in this final month of the season, really. Moving on to the league leaders, and this section we're really just going to go over why the Angels are so dominant, as one of the big reasons is that Mitch Moreland is really just having a great season for the Angels. Their 2 first basemen they have in CJ Cron and Mitch Moreland are just dominating at the plate. Mitch Moreland already has 100 RBI with 32 bombs, and he's hitting .288 with a .341 OBP. That is first in the American League in home runs and RBI. Moving on to CJ Cron, he has 31 home runs and 85 RBI, and both of those home run and RBI are 4th in the American League. And then Mike Trout, of course, is 1st in the American League in OPS with a .974, which is absolutely ludicrous. And then Matt Shoemaker has been pretty much the race this year. He's 18-3 with a 2.80 ERA, and then Aroldis Chapman is 1st in the American League in saves with 43, and then the Oakland Athletics' Sean Doolittle is tied for 3rd with 39. And then we'll also talk about a bit Sonny Gray, as he's 9-7 with 2.67 ERA, which is 4th ERA in the American League, so he's doing pretty well for the Athletics as well. As far as the injuries go for the Athletics, they have a lot of them. Jackie Allen came up from AAA, made an impact. He was dominating AAA, came up, made an impact in the big leagues, and he's out 1 to 2 months now. He's going to be out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. So Jackie Allen has been shut down. Matt Olson, no chance of him coming up in September to help out with the ball club in September call-ups, as he has had a torn groin. He'll be out for the rest of the season as well, 1 to 2 months. Ramon Benitez, you guys have known about this. He has a torn Achilles, and he just can't stop getting hurt. He's out for 5 to 6 months, while Brady Slayton still has 3 to 4 weeks left on his injury, so he won't be really getting any time in the big leagues either, because he's out for the rest of the season as well. So moving on to the updates portion of the episode, Peter Scott has been sent back down to AAA. He'll be back up in the September call-ups, but halfway through the month of August, he was sent back down to AAA because he just was not getting the job done. He had a 9 1/3 innings pitched in the major leagues, and he had 4 walks and a set 6.75 ERA, which is not good at all in the slightest. He just was not performing well in the major league, so he's back down to AAA now. He'll be back up for September call-ups once the AAA playoffs are over, but he is dominating in AAA over there. So he has a 13-2 with a 2.59 ERA in AAA. Moving on to Eduardo Escobar, as he has been signed to a contract from free agency to be a utility guy to help out, especially since Jackie Allen has now been hurt and he was playing a huge impact, and we don't really have any room to call anybody up because everybody who's good is hurt. So Eduardo Escobar was signed from free agency. He was with the Angels last year. He's a super utility guy, but he's mainly going to be playing right field for the Athletics. Mark Canha, another guy, has been sent down early on in the month of August. He was sent down and just never really included in an episode before here, so he just really hasn't been good. He wasn't good last year. He wasn't good the first year of the series. This is the final year of his contract, so Mark Canha is going to be leaving to go somewhere else, and it's really disappointing because he has good stats. He's got great attributes. On paper, he should be one of our better hitters and one of our better players all around, but he's just not. He just never really gets it done. This year, he's hitting 217 with a 276 OBP. Last year in 2017, he hit 205 with a 257, which is even worse, but this year it's not good either, so they're both really bad. And then the first year of the franchise in 2016, he hit 232 with a 278 OBP, so just 3 really bad years. He's just not really getting it done, and this is going to be the last year he has on the Oakland Athletics. Moving on to Billy Burns, as he was called up to the big leagues. He's mainly going to be a platoon and on the bench. Possibly, if he proves that he can hit here in the September, he could possibly find his way onto the starting lineups regularly, but he's more of just a platoon and a bench player right now, as he just really hasn't been good this year. Jose Bautista, his attributes have been going down a lot, and really he's only really useful now against left-handed pitching, and he's playing a lot against left-handed pitching. He's hitting .241 with a 324 OBP and 14 home runs with 48 RBI, so he's still providing some production, but he's not the Jose Bautista in the prime for sure. And the Oakland Athletics have made a trade here entering the month of September. Now, I'm sure you guys are all aware that the trade deadline is the end of July, so how that works is you can't trade anyone who's on the 40-man roster who's eligible for the... You can't trade for anybody who's eligible for the playoff roster on anybody's team, or you can't trade players like that, but you can't unless you waive them, obviously, but that's a whole nother story. But you can trade minor league players and through other minor league players throughout the system. So the Athletics went out and traded Jesus Mora, an outfielder, and then Chad Pinder, a shortstop infielder type guy, to the Atlanta Braves in return for Dian Toscano. Ignore where he says Missouri. The other guy says Missouri as well, but they're actually from Cuba and Panama, as Dian Toscano from Cuba has been acquired. He's an older minor leaguer. He's going to be called up for September call-ups to help out, but he's not exactly a guy who's going to be getting a lot better because he's already pretty much 30 years old. Johan Camargo, I'm sure I'll learn how to pronounce it eventually, but right now it's Johan Camargo from Panama, a shortstop / second baseman, or third baseman. He's an infielder, mainly shortstop, from Panama, was acquired from the Braves. And that's the trade. Camargo's going to be in the minor leagues still, while Toscano is going to be called up to the big leagues in the September call-ups and hopefully help out with the team a bit, especially since he's dominating in AAA right now with like a 350 average. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Oakland Athletics franchise. This is the August recap as we have finished up August and we are now moving into the month of September, the final month of the season. There won't be a September recap, as the September recap will either be, if we make the playoffs, it'll be a end-of-season recap heading into the playoffs / playoff preview to preview who we're playing against, or if we don't make the playoffs, it'll just be the end-of-the-season recap plus the off-season video. So depending on if we make the playoffs or not, that'll be what the September, I'm doing air quotes right now, September playoffs will be. September recap, correction. So like I said, that's going to wrap things up here for this episode. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.
You better tell the world that I'm coming. I'm fucking up the game till I'm rich, a nigga, it's nothing. I'm sitting with the substance to add some depth to my vision, to leave you all in prison within the holes of my prism. I draw angles to shine and you niggas glisten, and circle you on purpose. My flow is perfect and different. Certain you listen and see that you're perpendicular, not parallel to my worship, but you're a visitor. And this is my house, nigga, this is grind house. It's my time, in 5 minutes and time out. So watch me, 'cause time's him, then